Today we are going to discuss the most demanded question from me, how to file the VAT return. And finally the day has come when we can file our returns. So I'm going to take you with FTA portal, Federal Tax Authority. Today we are going to discuss the most demanded question from me, how to file the VAT return. And finally the day has come when we can file our returns. So I'm going to take you with FTA portal, Federal Tax Authority online access, where we will log in by username and password. And once you log in, you will see a screen like this. So you will see different tabs. One is dashboard, my profile, downloads, my payments. If you have an excise, you are dealing with some products which excise tax is levied on, excise good list, and the last tab is VAT. We'll start with the filing. The first tab that we need to notice is VAT instructions. Here is VAT instructions. VAT instructions are very easy. That, for example, if your filing is ending in March 30, at the end of March, so you have 28 days extra to file it. And when you are going to file, so you should collect all your information, which is I'm going to tell you right now in the later portion of this video. And you should gather all this information while you are filing. And if you are going to pay, so your details should be with you for the payments. Once you have read the instructions very clearly, then we have a tab called VAT Return, and there is a tab for the VAT refunds. And you will notice on the screen when it becomes due, you will see a tab. This tab is VAT New VAT Return. So this is a clickable button that you have to press, and it will take you to another window which will have some information to fill. When you click this, it will take you to this window, taxable person details. Already you are assigned a TRN. Your TRN will show here. Taxable person will show here. Taxable person address, your official address that you have given while at the time of login, it will show here. And taxable person name in Arabic, it will show here. So this is the window, that is the first that you have to encounter. So the next window that we are going to encounter, that is for VAT return period. So if your period is January ending, so it will show from here what is the starting, what is the ending. Here is the due date of filing, so you have to file at that date or before. Then of course it will show your tax year end, and a reference number will be allocated. So this reference number should be here. So make sure when you fill these boxes, the amount should be in UAE dirhams, United Arab dirhams. Don't put in dollar, pounds or other currencies. You have to complete all the mandatory fields. Where there is no amounts, you can use 0 in the place, don't leave it empty. Once we proceed with this, we will see this kind of form that is showing the VAT on sales. So you can see it has multiple lines. You have to divide your sale according to the Emirates. So how it will go, we will say that what is the standard rated sales in Abu Dhabi, standard rates supplies in Dubai, standard rated supplies in Sharjah, then Ras Al Khaimah, then Al Quwain, then Fujairah. These are the 7 Emirates. So you have to break up your sale into Emirates wise. So these are the boxes where you have to put the amount. Then you have to put the amount of VAT, and then any adjustments. If you have any adjustments in your figures that is coming from a previous period, or you want to adjust it this time, that adjustments you have to put it. And of course these adjustments are subject to the approval of FTA, so they will review and they will confirm you about these adjustments. If you go to United Kingdom, you shop something, you pay VAT, there will be a VAT refund scheme that once you come back to the airport, you can claim your VAT refund. Same way in UAE, if you are a tourist who can claim the refund, there is a box for it. If you are a company who has provided refund to the tourist under tax refund scheme for the tourist, then you can put the figures here. Then you will put the supplies that are subject to reverse charge in this box. If there are some sales that you've done and it is zero rated, you are going to show it here. If it is an exempted supply, you will put here. Goods imported in UAE will be shown here. If you have any adjustment related to these imports, that you will put it in this box, and then a total will come. So this is how you are going to cover the sales part. Briefly, I am going to explain all this exempted, standard and zero rated one by one, what you need to include and what you need to exclude. So we'll start with the standard rated, which is we are paying 5%. We are receiving from our customer 5% as a part of our tax invoice. Supplies of goods and services will be taken after the discount amount, not before the discount amount. So you have to take the discounted amount. If you receive some deposit as a partial payment, if you have vending machines and you have sale through that will be included. Supplies of commercial property, intercompany sales, where you didn't register yourself as a group, so you are still going to include it in your calculations, because intercompany transactions where you have a group TRN, they are free to each other. But if you are not in that scenario, of course that you need to put into calculations. Any supply made to the staff like cafeteria, canteen, private use of these charges. If you sell any of your business assets, deemed supplies such as a gift of any business asset which is above the threshold of the acceptable gift, or any business asset that is held for private use, not for the commercial purposes. Goods and services that you own at the time of tax deregistration must also be reported on that date. Reimbursement of expenses from the customers, where you have recorded the VAT on the expenses as a separate supply, make a recharge to your customer. Full value of goods and services sold under a profit margin, less any VAT from this margin, even though the VAT due is only calculated on the profit achieved. Sale from a non-resident who don't have an Emirates ID, who are registered for VAT, where the importer is not responsible for the calculation and settlement of the tax. Supplies of goods located in the designated area which are exempted from the value-added tax, where supplies of the goods are within the designated areas where the goods are consumed with the designated zone. Reduction in the value due to the credit notes issued. There are some provisions for error corrections, but make sure that their amount is around 10,000 dirhams. If you feel that amount is more than 10,000, then you have to give a voluntarily disclosure to FTA, and FTA will review it and approve your adjustment. You need to exclude the followings that I am going to tell you. Sale of goods located with designated areas which are not consumed within that areas. Out of scope supplies, zero rated supplies such as export of goods and services outside UAE, zero rated educational services, and health related, which are exempted in fact. Very carefully, you should only use adjustment column in these circumstances. The first, if you have any bad debt relief, any of your customer has announced that he is not going to pay you, so that is a bad debt relief, or it arises as a result of any saleable commercial property in UAE. The box 2, that is for if you're a company and you should be a retail company, so you are a retailer and you refund some money to a tourist for VAT. So that's why you can opt for this box 2. Otherwise, if you are a different business, you don't qualify for this option. The only circumstances where you need to use this box is you have imported some goods and the movement is not declared via UAE customs for some reasons. So always use this box when the service is received from a foreign supplier and they are subject to a VAT, either a standard rate or a zero rated, and the goods are not disclosed to UAE customs. And any kind of local supplies which are related to oil and gas, they are subject to a reverse charge. You should exclude import of goods which is subject to reverse charge but has been disclosed to UAE customs. For box 4, where you are going to put the zero rated are where you are just applying a 0% rate on the value added tax. So you should know that what you have to include and what you have to exclude. So in what you need to include first, let's discuss that. All exports are zero rated, so export of goods outside of UAE will be zero rated, that you need to disclose here. Local supplies related to educational services, healthcare, any kind of supplies on import of precious metals, supplies of crude oil. You may be exempted for certain supplies, so that will be in the box number 5. Any kind of local supplies related to financial services, supplies of residential buildings, supplies of bare land, and supplies related to local transport. Box 6 is for goods imported in UAE. You need to include all import made in UAE through UAE customs. They have a record for it. Import of goods from an agent on behalf of an unregistered person. An unregistered person is the one who is not registered with FTA for the VAT. Box 7, you have to make sure that you are going to put adjustments here. Box 8 is the total. So system is going to generate a total automatically, and it will show the total adjustments separately. VAT on expenses and all its inputs. Please enter all the expenses net of VAT for which you would like to claim your input tax. In order to enter an amount which is related to your recoverable amount, so enter only the net amount. If you have some credit notes, you should also include in that. And if you have some corrections, so you should know that you are above 10,000 or below 10,000. If you're above 10,000, you have to give an extra disclosure to FTA, which will be subject to their approvals. In terms of adjustments, this box is to be used if you have some bad debts. Some debtors has reported you that they are not going to pay, so this is the right time to show them in adjustments. Any kind of end of year adjustments under the capital asset schemes, any amount can be in positive and negative, so there is nothing to worry about it. So here is the summary that VAT on expenses, it will look like this, and all inputs. You have to show the standard rated expenses, supplies that are subject to reverse charge, and system is going to calculate the total automatically. Box 9 is for standard rated expenses. So now I will tell you what you should include as a claim for recovery and which you should not do. So let's move forward. Anything you bought for the business purposes and you paid 5% on it, you should include. Goods and services which you purchase on discounts, total price that you have paid for, which you are selling under a profit margin scheme. Those goods and services which are being purchased before your tax registration and you are intended to claim some refund. The only condition is it should be included in your first returns. Any kind of reduction in the credit because of the credit notes. Errors where you are allowed to adjust the previous tax periods. You cannot include salaries and wages, money put and taken by you in business. Those purchases who are for private use, it's nothing to do with the business. So if you are a managing director, you are buying your grocery, other things, you cannot include in that. There are some expenses which is from FTA specifically described that they are not allowed. For example, entertainment cost, motor vehicles which are for private use, and any other cost that is for private purposes. Expenses that is made for non-business supplies, purchase of goods located within the designated areas which were not consumed in that areas, or subsequently imported in UAE in the mainland. Mainland means the areas which are outside the free zones. Gifts or donations, purchases from the member of the same tax groups, fines and penalties in terms of traffic and other kind of fines. Box 10 is related to those supplies who are subject to reverse charge. So what you need to include, services received from the foreign suppliers. Either these are zero rated or standard. So now you can see your net VAT due amount. So it will show you what is the total value of the due tax for the period, total value of recoverable amount, payable tax for the period, this quarter, this period. It can be a month, it can be a quarter. That depends on your filing patterns that FTA has determined. Box 15 is if you are intended to request for a refund, then you have to use this box 15. There will be an option, a tab in the portal, so you have to click it and a new form will open that you have to fill as a refund application. Here we are going to finish our filing, and once you finish the filing you have to agree to the declaration, and this kind of window you will see on your screens. You will see these three tabs: cancel, save as a draft, and the last button is for submit. I always suggest everyone, those who are filling this form, in order not to lose the information they filled, they should keep saving it as a draft, because system works on a security protocol, and if 10 minutes you are not going to use the screen, so because of inactivity it is going to log you out. So here you are going to submit the return and your return will finish. Now the next screen will be payment. So now you have to make a payment. What are the different ways of making payment? We will discuss now. So on the FTA main portal, you will see a tab called Payments, My Payments. So you will click My Payments and you should have a e-dirham card with you. You will see a window called VAT and Penalty Payments. Here it is, you're showing your total liability. You will manually enter your amount and here you will click Make Payment. If you don't have e-dirham card, there is nothing to worry. Take a normal credit card or a debit card or Master or Visa cards. These all are acceptable for the payments. System will ask you another confirmation that you want to pay now. Press it and it will process your payment. When you use a credit card, always make sure that you have to pay an extra 2 to 3% on a card. So if you want to save it, you can use e-dirham as a substitute. This window will give you an option to select the payment through which card, so you can see the options. Once you select, then you have to confirm. All banks has standing instructions, so you can use the e-debit card, the e-debit also, where you can give the access to your bank account and FTA will deduct the amount directly from there. So these are some necessary steps. I try to make it easy for you. If you feel any difficulty, you can contact anytime. In order to get your technical issues. If you are in any industry, you are in retail, you are in commercial, you are industrial, you have warehouses, you deal with the excise products, or you are stuck up with some reverse charge calculations, you are not sure how to implement your systems, all these videos are for your awareness, so you can understand these matters. These are really important. And you can do your returns without any errors and in a timely manners. Thank you very much for watching my video. I will keep updating as I get the latest information about tax matters.